Are you expanding your view on more holistic work that really crosses the boundaries between sectors? So what does that mean? So we look at the example of Yara in East Africa. And some of you may be familiar with the Southern Agricultural Growth Corridor of Tanzania. A massive effort. Yara's a fertilizer company from Norway. Yara viewed it as an opportunity to start selling their products to small-scale farmers. It was a growth opportunity for Yara. How do we deliver a product to a place where we think we can build a business? Yet it was a part of Tanzania that was had massive underinvestment, and there was no way as a single investment in building a fertilizer delivery facility that was going to unlock growth for Yara, because Yara needed everything else that was required to support that business. They needed not only the support of government and civil society, but they needed people working on infrastructure. They needed people working on farmer training. They needed people working on healthcare to make sure that those farmers were healthy. So how do you think about what full sector-to-sector collaboration looks like? Again, for the companies that's unlocking growth, for governments that's delivering prosperity and social progress that they are interested in, and for civil society working in those places, obviously aligned with their mission to help the people in the places in which they're working. So these are three ways that we see that companies are really pushing in new boundaries. Again, to recap. Rethinking entire business models, challenging long-held assumptions about what business you're in and what the opportunities or limitations are. Number two, rethinking where the businesses actually compete on social issues. And number three, expanding sector-to-sector collaboration in a way that generates benefits for all. And if any of you have seen it, so we just wrote an article in the Harvard Business Review called The Ecosystem of Shared Value. And it basically lays out this exact thought. And in the simplest terms, the way to think about it is, for companies pursuing shared value, those things that are within the four walls of the company are the easiest to control. So if you're investing in an efficiency of your supply chain, if you're investing in efficiency of a plant or a production facility, those are the easiest places to make progress. But it's also the places where the gains that are potentially had are limited to the footprint of that company. And immediately as the company starts moving out to opportunities like the ones that I've described, the need for partners and the control that goes down in what a company can accomplish on its own diminishes as well, bringing up the need for partnerships. So, what's it mean? I think the two most substantial barriers to further shared value progress are these. Because the key question is, how do we unlock gains like these? And number one that I just alluded to, and that you'll likely hear from Deirdre White about Pixar Global about later, is the skills that come for companies and their partners around cross-sector understanding and partnering, and the hard work that takes. Again, at Partner Day yesterday, we ran through a 2-hour exercise that Pixar Global had put together that really illustrates the difficulty and challenges of partnering. And even though I work at a nonprofit myself, maybe I shouldn't be surprised anymore, but I am mystified by how low the understanding is of what a nonprofit actually is for anyone who's never worked in one. It is amazing to me. People in companies like, well, so do you get money in a nonprofit? You're not paid, right, because you work in a nonprofit. I mean, it is amazing. So there is a disconnect between sectors of even a basic understanding of what happens that needs to be addressed. And then number two, for all of you in the room who work in companies, is really what we call the shared value enterprise. How far has your company actually embedded shared value into competitive strategy and into the way you operate? And you can see with the three examples I've given, not only are decisions like that, repositioning the entire company, pre-competitive collaboration with competitors that you normally go toe-to-toe with, and sector-to-sector in the Yara example, these decisions are being made at the highest levels of executive management as prioritized elements of corporate strategy that are about growth and differentiation for that business. So how far has your company come? Are social issues still off to the side and sometimes to be managed and minimized? Or are they a core part of profit and loss and the long-term vision and growth opportunities or risk management that you see within your businesses? And that progression of the enterprise and how it gets embedded, strategic planning, goal setting, organizational design. This is the hard work that happens within companies, but that enables them to really make progress and take on these more aggressive, ambitious agendas for advancing their own goals at the same time that they advance societies.